DMV's back!
This is a review of Resident Evil 7.
We just played it. Maybe you've heard of it.
Maybe you watched the 13 videos. Maybe
hopefully you watched
Maybe
it.
you're one of those 5. But you know,
probably not.
Everyone has to start somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, this is our first review. So, as I always say, all the help is appreciated. Like, subscribe, the whole shebang.
So, we're going to start off our review talking about graphics. They say don't judge a book by its cover, but that's what we're going to do right now.
I mean,
well, it's not really the cover.
We know graphics don't make a good game.
But they can help.
Minecraft's pretty great.
Yeah,
But in terms of horror, it's important for the immersibility.
Yeah, you need to feel like you're in the game, especially a first-person game like this. And the graphics were not next gen.
Damn it. You know what? Fuck you, Daddy.
No!
Nope, that didn't work.
No! Get out of the way, Em!
That's our first problem with this game. The graphics, I mean, you want to be brought into a game as soon as you start it. You don't want to start a game and be kind of disconnected of it because of the graphics. Like, it's a horror game, you want to be involved, and you just didn't really feel like it. And it took a while to get used to the game, especially with Mia's hair.
What is this place? What'd they do to you?
Not now. We need to get out of here first. I think it's this way.
That was the most noticeable.
Yeah, the clumping on any longer hair was really, really apparent. Actually, that was my biggest problem. It wasn't the graphics when you're looking at a door or like any of the other scenery. It was always people. The people were just off.
Oh shit, he's not eating it, Jack! He's not eating it!
Get the hell up, Marguerite!
They said for him!
Get the hell out of here!
You're a son of a bitch!
The voice acting in this game was phenomenal. But that, with the graphics, when we get close-ups of people and they're talking, and like I said, the voice acting is great, it just looks like they're flapping their lips.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
I just wanted to send a quick hello, and I love you. Oh, good news. I'm gonna be coming home soon. Yay!
Like, I don't know, what's that closely comparable to?
It's like when you're watching a video and the audio is moving faster than the video or something like that.
And there's like a lag between.
Yeah, and there's like this, just the audio sync being off, and it gets so irritating so fast where you're just like, no, please don't.
But you know, it kind of, the graphics did fit the style of Resident Evil, you know, they didn't really bother me too much. It just took a few, like maybe an hour or so to get used to.
But when you say it made the style of Resident Evil, the problem with that I have is like they designed this game to be a different Resident Evil. They designed it not like the past Resident Evil games.
It was fairly different. I mean, for starters, it's a first-person survival horror. We're used to like tons of enemies and epic boss battles. I mean, there were some really epic boss battles. Some scared the shit out of me in particular.
You know the decision.
Jesus fucking Christ! She's got long arms!
In the face!
What the fuck? Yeah, just you.
Yeah. Well, you were proud you could get through all the boomers. You know, except those last two.
I was on a roll.
Yeah.
I was on a roll, and then it just stopped to be a roll and became more of a crash.
Yeah. So, back to the audio. We said good voiceovers. The ambiance was amazing. There's so many background noises happening, and you always feel like there's something lurking in the shadows.
And the music that's synced with like the moments like you're in a dark hallway with the mold around you, and you have one of the molded creeping up on you.
Ah!
Oh fuck.
But at the same time, the music never chilled. You know, it never slowed down or calmed down. Really.
Yeah, I know that's a problem for you because you're shooting bricks, but
But no,
it was
it's
No, there
beautifully
was-
done for a horror.
There was a
game.
few times, one in particular I'm thinking of. We're going into that shadow plinth room in the atrium.
yeah, and
You
then
know, and it just, the music, anytime you would go through this narrow hallway, we went through a few times, but just, everything would start shaking, and there was some really weird music. It just didn't match up.
what the hell is that noise?
Who knows? Just keep going, man.
It's just fucking with you, dude. It's just fucking with you. You're fine.
Yeah, that was probably the example that bothers me the most. Because like in the darker hallways, at least it kind of worked to have the music like rise with that moment.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a moment of suspense. We knew exactly what was on the other side. There were no enemies on the other side. But the game kept trying to make you be afraid of this little passageway for no reason.
Yeah, there was no enemies there.
It was just that one thing bothered me. But otherwise, the score, yeah, it was really good.
It's really good.
Um,
The
and-
theme song, Go Tell Aunt Rhody. A few times, like, you just hear either Nana or Eveline. Fucking shitting bricks right now. Spoiler alert, they're the same person.
Yeah, Nanoline.
Uh, they would be humming it, and it's just really creepy, you know, and it just added to the whole horror aspect of the game itself. All right, so moving on to gameplay. Any you want to start on that?
Overall, your interactions with the enemies and like the rising level of difficulty as you get through the game, I thought was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I just felt the controls to be a little bit awkward, and I don't know if anyone.
Yeah,
I would say they were jerky. Like I found they were very jerky at times, and sometimes I felt like they weren't responding well enough, and other times I felt like they were responding too well without ever changing the settings.
Yeah, I agree. Very jerky controls. A lot of times the movement was just constricted. Yeah, it really took away from the game. But you know, when you start off, the way I kind of view it is, your main character Ethan, he's not a fighter. By any means is he not a fighter. And when you start the game and you're being attacked and you're trying to take on these enemies, and they're tough, you really need to try and get used to the combat system. So it's kind of like Ethan slowly learning. By the end of the game, at least I know I was just plowing through enemies.
Except for all the times you had so much trouble.
That was you.
No, that was also you.
Okay. Some of the puzzles in the game,
Some of them were weak. I felt the puzzles could have been better.
and some
Although
of them
what-
were just flat out annoying. We were like running around for 20 minutes trying to figure out what to do, and sometimes, yes, the answers were so blatantly obvious we really felt stupid. We had to cut a lot of that out, but
Other times it was just like,
Like the paintings.
the paintings,
Yeah.
yeah.
well, I kind of felt like they were going for puzzles every now and then, but they didn't really want to commit to making it much of a puzzle, except for in the one section with Lucas. And I actually really liked that section. I thought it was well done.
That was really fun.
So I
That
felt
was,
like
that was mostly just dodging tripwires and hoping you don't, hit an explosive.
But then,
box.
the party room too.
The party room, yeah, the party room was good. We had the other D for that. Did you watch the party room?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
The party room. It was.
It was a genuine puzzle solving.
Yeah.
It was actually requiring you to think
It was.
outside the box to try and solve
It
it.
was the one puzzle that really felt like it belonged, and wasn't really fucking annoying. And another thing about the gameplay was the crafting. I really enjoyed the crafting. I thought it worked really well with the survival horror element, where you would have so many herbs, and you'd have so many bullet or gunpowder as well. and you're always trying to find chem fluid, and a lot of the times you'd have to choose between bullets or health, and that was really scary.
Yeah.
And sometimes we make the wrong decisions.
Something.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can craft a lot of things.
Oh,
Did you
shit.
craft ammo?
Oh, fuck. Did you seriously?
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Just to go back to the controls a bit, I kind of felt like there was input lag at some points.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can say that's the controller's fault or if it's the game's fault or it's just not optimized.
Your fault.
I don't believe it was my fault.
Remember, block. Block.
Yeah, block. Always block.
Okay, yeah. Always block. I'll block. Except when you're playing. The story.
And back from the jump cut.
Yeah, jump cut
Shut the
noted.
fuck up.
Going into the game, I wasn't expecting too much. But, playing the game, I became a huge fan of it. I thought it was just awesome. And I really liked the story, too, Going into it, you didn't really have too many answers. It was just everything's happening. You don't know why. Obviously, if you read a lot of the letters,
Like someone here did.
Yeah.
You would
It
know
will
what's
tell you
going
things.
on.
but you're not getting full answers. A lot of stuff is left out. And you're still asking questions, and a lot of those questions don't get answered till the end.
Yes, till the very end.
Yeah.
But then, if you read all the letters in the very end, it's all very complete.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the last 4 parts.
Yeah.
That's when it really starts to okay, now I get it. So you discover who Eveline is, who the Bakers were before Eveline, and then learn a whole bunch about Mia.
Yeah, Mia was lying a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
Although-
at the start of the game, that recording, she
Right.
says,
I did lie to you. I shouldn't have.
I shouldn't have lied to you. But
Yeah.
the whole game, what the fuck was she lying about? Was she babysitting?
Well, she was, technically.
Te-
she was
technically,
babysitting Eveline.
yeah.
And it's quite different to say you're on a babysitting job when you're guarding a super weapon.
Yeah.
On an LNG.
Yes, on an LNG tanker for some reason.
Yeah.
Which is still the worst way to transport something that could literally
All right,
blow up.
we're not.
I really thought that when we first started out, and then we mixed with the gameplay and the ambient, the ambience of the game, ambiance, whatever. Fuck you, the ambiance of the game, the ambiance of the game. I first thought the story was just gonna be very boring. I thought it was just gonna be very linear and nothing.
Just jump scares.
Yeah, just jump scares. But then as we got to the last 4 parts and kind of the questions we started asking at the beginning started tying together, we started knowing who Eveline was and seeing that Nana and Eveline were the same person.
Yeah.
It actually kind of brought it all together to make me realize the story was very well done.
Very well written, and they weren't cheap jump scares either.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
were within the suspenseful context. They
Yeah.
weren't like 5 Nights at Freddy's where you just suddenly... Yeah.
There was a lot of that. But they felt necessary. I mean, there was a lot of build up and
the
a lot of
ambiance
suspense.
tied it all together.
And sometimes you're expecting a jump scare, it doesn't happen. And then there's times where you don't expect it to happen, and it happens, and you're yelling, "What's the matter with her arms?"
You need the flamethrower.
What happened to her arms?
Never forget the Marguerite battle.
That was the scariest part of the game for me. Scariest part of the game for you guys.
That's tough. The Marguerite battle was very shocking, but once you got into it, it was like any other boss battle.
You were fucking playing.
I don't find this boss fight as bad as the one with Daddy.
Well, you're not playing!
That's true. But yeah, the Marguerite battle was pretty scary. But also, I just found going around those dark hallways, knowing that the enemies can materialize basically anywhere.
Yeah.
That was pretty scary.
I would say right now I'm between 2 parts of the game, with the shipwreck in the molded hallways when the lights were flickering, and then you had the spider people trying to jump at you.
Spider monkeys, yeah.
Spider monkey trying to jump at you, or you'd have one of those like just molded creatures.
With the big knives on their arms or whatever.
Yeah, those are fucking tough.
And,
But
and
like when they'd show up, I would like freak the fuck out because especially like if you didn't have enough ammo, if you're only holding a knife, that just added to the suspense and to the scariness of the game.
yeah, and again, going back to the crafting, that really helped because you're gonna be crafting either ammo or health, and a lot of the times it's the wrong choice.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I felt each character in the game had a very strong presence, and they all mattered. You know what I mean?
All lives mattered.
And
Throwaway joke, I'm sorry.
the biggest downfall was the graphics and the clunky controls. So I would say this sits at an 8 out of 10 for me.
I guess I'll go next. I really enjoyed it overall. I want to give it a higher rating for story, but I felt like the problems with the graphics, although kind of minor and sometimes an inconsistent tone and a slower first act, it makes me want to give it around 7.5 out of 10.
Well, for me, the gameplay in terms of the story and having the difficulty slightly rise, I thought that was phenomenal. I thought the story was really well put together, but the controls really got in the way of the immersiveness of a first person horror game.
Yeah.
And also with Mia's fucking hair.
Back to Mia's
I
hair.
like the graphics there. Like every time I'd see Mia, she'd interact with us. Though the voice acting was great, between the audio sync and her hair, like it took me out of it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna probably rate it at a 7.5.
Okay, so our average rating is about 7.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
so overall we're going to sit at a 7.5 out of 10. That doesn't mean don't get the game. It's fun, even if you're not a Resident Evil fan, like I wasn't. This is be honest, this is the first one I played. And I'm really happy I bought it. All right, so
That
that's
wraps it up, I think, yeah.
DMV's out. Like, subscribe to the whole shebang. I said it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm V. This is D.
And I'm also here.
And DMV's out. Bye-bye!
Bye! Sweet. That wasn't bad.